Hi, everyone, and good Friday to you. Just rolls right off the tongue. 20th day of August has turned out to be a very nice one in the neighborhood, and I feel like I should be announcing lottery numbers or something. The weekend forecast is picture perfect. No shower chances at all. Beautiful, sunny field skies, temperatures in the mid 80s. And we'll start off on a pretty good note, at least for the few days of next week. First few days of next week. I'll tell you more about that in just a few seconds. Next week, when I see you here, it's planned for Monday's show. I've spent some time this afternoon talking with a Mcguffin County family whose property was the target, they say, or was the result of some ice storm debris removal teams, or at least one team that appeared to have just gone rogue over the past couple of days. We'll talk with the Praters the first of next week. I'll take you to the scene, and we'll hear from our judge executive as well. Of course, no county state workers. This is a federal project, and crews from out of state doing the work, but it's going to, I'm sure, bring into a little clarity or clarification for the rest of the project, which is set to go on, I believe, through the end of the month. So we'll take you there and look at the serious loss of trees and off of their property that took place over the course of the past couple of days. A really strange unfolding of events there. Other than that, it's all COVID. The show, essentially, except for your forecast, goes downhill for the most part from here. We're wrapping up a record-setting week in Mcguffin County and the state as well, and local officials are joining state officials and others who are all starting to show their frustrations with the division, the false or disinformation that continues to go around, and with those who are still railing against the vaccine. We'll talk about Kentucky's numbers and Mcguffin County's numbers and those of Floyd and Johnson County in just a few moments. I do have some news and an update from the Kentucky State Police, who say that they arrested a Johnson County man. It turned out to be that robbed a Floyd County bank this week, specifically in Allen. We showed you some clips from the surveillance video. Authorities say they used that and some other crucial evidence to arrest this man. That would be 61-year-old Jeffrey Mullins of Hager Hill, identified as the suspect. To the left of your screen and lower center, those photographs, they say, were a somewhat disguised Jeffrey Mullins as he entered a bank in the Allen area of Prestonsburg, the Community Trust Bank, just before, I believe it was 10 o'clock on the morning of the 18th this week, which would have been Wednesday morning. It was there that he came in, brandished a firearm from his waistband, demanded money from the teller, and then fled the scene on foot with a still undisclosed amount of cash. He was last seen walking towards or around the subway there in Allen. And after an intense and relatively brief investigation, police said they successfully made the arrest regarding the bank robbery of Mullins in Johnson County at his home. Detective Ryan Hamilton with the KSP assisting with them was the Floyd County Sheriff's Department, obtained some very good video evidence that led them to identifying Mullins as a suspect. He was taken into custody at his home and lodged in the Big Sandy Jail, where he's still held with one count of robbery in the first degree against him thus far. I also want to make one other note that I've reached out today to try to find out more on the condition of the man who is accused of shooting that Johnson County Sheriff's deputy earlier this week. His name we know was Paul Tipton, but we've had no other information on his condition or the case. We'll try to have a follow-up on that for you next week. It was while I was at the Mcguffin County Board of Education meeting last night, a report to follow in just a few moments, the word came down the wire that a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order against Governor Beshear's mandate for students to wear masks in all Kentucky schools. It comes from a case that stems out of Campbell County, where a group of families at the Campbell County Catholic School filed the federal case. The ruling has absolutely no bearing, I need to clarify, on the other regulations, which are similar or almost exactly the same, that were put in place past the governors from the Kentucky Department of Health and Kentucky Department of Education, which both issued their own mandates, essentially saying that the emergency regulations would require all children over the age of 2 to wear a mask in all K through 12 public schools and regulated child care facilities here in the state of Kentucky. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the governor says that this ruling from the federal judge, William Bertelsmann, could put thousands of Kentucky kids at risk and undoubtedly expose them to the most dangerous version of COVID-19 we have ever experienced. The judge's decision to temporarily block the governor's mask mandate could impact or have an effect on the St. Joseph Elementary School in Campbell County. They have somewhere between 400 to 450 students at that school. We will hear more from the state in regards to today's COVID numbers. We will hear more about our local numbers as well, as officials are continuing to show more and more frustration with essentially the entire situation. I'll be right back. Nostalgic or historic or whatever you want to call that feeling you get when you walk in and sit down at the counter and get a scoop of ice cream or a hot dog with sauce while your hometown pharmacist gets your prescriptions ready. Whatever it is, it's still here at Fraser's Prater Drug. Only better, with everything from Jelly Bellies to fresh popcorn to hot and cold gourmet coffees, even hot fudge cakes and banana splits. Fraser's Prater Drug hasn't forgot how important the little things in life are, and they don't want you to either. Stop and see them. They're just a couple of doors down from another Salyersville gym, the Seasonal Shop. Summer is definitely in full swing at the Seasonal Shop, where it is filled with new arrivals in home decor, women's clothing, Ridge and Holler, and more. They've given their home decor a fresh look, and they have new displays literally wall to wall, from farmhouse to traditional, equestrian, and more. And Oat Shore neoprene bags are the latest craze in women's accessories, and they've got dozens of colors and styles available right now, and new ones coming in daily. And lily planters have arrived just in time for school or work. And don't leave the guys out. Ridge and Holler shirts, yes, that's a Mcguffin County Cadillac cap, and hats are a huge seller at the Seasonal Shop. Designs so unique and so special for our area. Designs you can only get at the Seasonal Shop. They still have delivery, baby and wedding registry, curbside service, and more.
Summer is here, and the 12 mini deal just got even hotter. The iPhone 12 mini is now $1 penny with a 2-year contract. Visit an Appalachian Wireless retail location or go to AppalachianWireless.com to view this amazing deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Just click on ConleyTire.net and you can shop for tires, find out more about services, brands, wheels, rims, their free coffee, free Wi-Fi, and free local shuttle service, and of course the latest and greatest current offers and specials, like how right now you can get up to $150 back on a set of Goodyears. That's ConleyTire.net, or you can always stop by in Staffordsville or give them a call at 297-2424. Welcome to East Kentucky's premier vape and CBD shop, offering all natural tobacco alternatives and everything vape and smoke shop related. Everything you're looking for and everything you're not. Best quality, best prices, best service.
Come to Appalachian Smoke Shop for all your tobacco alternatives and accessories, as well as products like CBD, kratom, and legal THC that people are telling us they're using to treat pain, anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, and lack of energy, as well as just for overall wellness. Make it your one stop, Appalachian Smoke Shop.
The following report comes from last night's Mcguffin County Board of Education meeting, with school, of course, out in Mcguffin County till the first of the month, essentially. There wasn't a lot of school business, normal business, day-to-day operation business going on in the Board of Education. However, Mcguffin County Superintendent of Schools, Scott Helton, did wish to speak through this coverage to families and parents in Mcguffin County as to what led the school to go to the measures they did, canceling classes for essentially the rest of the month, only a few days into the school year, and that is canceling them entirely, not having any virtual or other classes at all during that time frame.
You know, in hindsight, you can say a lot of things, but we went through those first 2 days, and then that Friday we had on Thursday afternoon, we had a couple schools that lost out on their air conditioning and their capability to fill the building, so we had to take off on that Friday. We came back on Monday, and that kind of goes back to what Justin was talking about. That day, we started seeing a lot of kids being quarantined, and then it rolled over into Tuesday. And my plan was on Wednesday was to have schools, but at that time, make the decision to take some time off. But prior to being able to make that call, we had a power outage that morning while we were checking the roads for flooding, and we had 3 schools out with no power, and our Board of Education was out, so the other schools didn't have phone service or internet service. So I made a decision to go ahead and take that day off. And in consultation with the health department and our school principals and central office staff and board members, it was the only thing that I needed to do was to keep our children as safe as we could. We had to take some time off. We couldn't continue on with what we were doing. Now, how impactful that'll be as far as within the community, the slow spread of that, but we also monitor in our school community. In our school community, our positivity rate is getting outrageous. So we had to slow down. And I understand there's some questions about that returning on August 30th. How did we come to that date? Well, a number of our kids that Justin was talking to you about as far as quarantine, that was a few days after their quarantine time would be up. But that day, I'll go ahead and explain to you, as far as I'm concerned, it's not set in stone. That's something that we will get back to with the local health officials and look at where we're at as a community again before we make a decision on whether we come back or not. And if we do get back in and we start out like this again, then we have no choice. We have to try to be able to keep our staff, and that's another thing. Not only the large number of students being quarantined, but it gave you 9 staff being positive, but a lot of staff had been quarantined. And it got to a point where it's becoming kind of dangerous to try to have kids in the building who didn't have supervision the way you should have. So that's another thing that led to us to have to take some time off. And it could lead to us again. I want everyone to know we're not trying to push, but we're trying to provide an education for our children. And we realize in my heart that face-to-face is the best, but sometimes you can't get face-to-face.
Hilton also reminded everyone, the school board and the viewing audience, that the school system this year doesn't have the luxury of unlimited NTI days as they did last year. They only have 10 unless things change. And with calling off class between now and essentially the end of the month to resume on August the 30th, the Board of Education used the 3 days of the school calendar that were allotted for the fall break, and they essentially took the other days missed and shifted them to the end of the calendar. There is no virtual or any type of classwork going on right now. All these days will be made up at the end of the school year, which without using any of those 10 NTI days, by the way, which will right now, I think, put school out sometime around the 19th. And before the meeting adjourned, school board member pharmacist Jesse Rudd also issued another plea to the public to please all parents and all families and children of the appropriate age to get their vaccine.
Just to take the time to promote vaccination. I think that we can all see just how important getting vaccinated is. You look at the folks hospitalized right now, comparing those that are vaccinated to unvaccinated, there is no comparison. So I would just like to really take this time to just highly recommend those that haven't been vaccinated to get vaccinated. I mean, it's not too late. No time like the present time. Get vaccinated.
Rudd also asked the board to consider hosting a vaccination drive in the school district, to which Superintendent of Schools Scott Helton believed would be an appropriate and good idea. I apologize for the audio. When the meetings are held there in the Harold Whitaker Middle School, it is just a very big and spacious place and noisy place there in the cafeteria. So I tried to isolate the audio and do the best job possible. But again, my apologies, but about the best that could be done without having everyone their own separate microphone, which is just an impossibility. I'll be right back. Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Stop in JJ's Burgers and Beer for the weekend specials like 10 boneless buffalo wings and an 18-inch pizza, any toppings, for $14.99. Stop by any day of the week and get any 16-inch pizza for $9.99 and any 18-inch pizza for only $11.99. They've got a different sandwich or soup special every day of the week, big gourmet class hamburger combos, and your favorite domestic beer, $2.49 a bottle or $7.99 by the bucket. JJ's Burgers and Beer at Speedy's in Sagersville. One of the many questions that continues to get louder and louder as time and days go on is COVID close to bringing Kentucky hospitals and counties like Mcguffin, where we have the second highest incident rate again in the entire state, to their knees, as officials locally and statewide continue to show their frustrations with the division, with the false information, and those who are continuing to rail against the vaccines. On a state level, yesterday, not what you're looking at in front of you right now, but yesterday, the governor announced 4,836 new cases of COVID-19. That was our third highest day, our third highest number of cases reported in one day throughout the entire pandemic. The positivity rating was 12.75%. It's gone up some today from that even. And yesterday it was the highest, essentially, since they've been able to have a good calculation on what our actual positivity rate was. And listen to this. Our 10 to 19-year-olds, the positivity rating among that age group, 87.5%. The positivity rating between 10 to 19-year-olds, 87.5%. There were also 9 deaths reported yesterday. Here in front of you is what today's report came in at. New cases today were less, fortunately, down to, but still, 3,869. 6 deaths reported today. And a positivity rating a little higher than yesterday at 12.8%. As Kentucky is getting closer to reaching that 2.5 million vaccinated mark that we had hoped to hit a few months ago, but nevertheless, with a recent modest increase in vaccination numbers, vaccinated Kentuckians now add up to 2,444,573. While moving on to hospitalizations in the state of Kentucky, this chart was released earlier this week, I believe late last evening or this morning, and it shows hospitalizations of Kentuckians. Each little circle, which is actually a circle with a hospital bed in it, each little one of those circles, green to the left, red to the right, represents 10 Kentuckians. To the left, fully vaccinated Kentuckians in the hospital from March the 1st through August the 18th, day before yesterday, total 411. Not fully vaccinated people who have been hospitalized over the same time period, well, it's a little higher, 3,819. Again, 411 to 3,819 fully vaccinated versus not fully vaccinated people who have been hospitalized, and the majority of them in the past couple of weeks. Meanwhile, today's incident rate map shows Mcguffin County still clinging on to a title that we do not want, the second highest incident rate in the entire state of Kentucky, 177 for Mcguffin County. It has continued to climb each and every day. That is a new record for us. We are still only behind Clay County, which is in the 190s. We'll get to Mcguffin County's numbers in just a few seconds with our public health director. For Floyd County, Wednesday, they reported 89 new cases in Floyd County. 1 reinfection in an unvaccinated person. 20 fully vaccinated people. Out of those 89 that were reported, only 20 were fully vaccinated. And they had 12 out of those 89 were under the age of 18. That was Wednesday in Floyd County. Yesterday, they added another 49, and out of those, only 6 were fully vaccinated. Johnson County on Wednesday had 24, new cases to report for the day. Still 19 hospitalized. 35 have passed away, while yesterday in Johnson County, they had another 25 to report, and only 4 of those had been vaccinated. The majority, as it is seen statewide, of the cases are in unvaccinated people. That's a nationwide trend, not just a statewide trend. As we turn to today's numbers for Mcguffin County, which have gone up again from yesterday, They are lower, however, than the record-setting day or number of 40 that we had earlier in the week, as local health officials, our public health director, and I guess myself are starting to show their frustrations with the entire situation. Well, I felt as though we had to be here tonight, Pete. I know we've done this every day this week, I think, seemingly, but I didn't think we could go and not wrap up the week with not just today's numbers, but also looking back from Friday to today. Before you give me the grand total, that's a really poor choice of words, I know. How did we turn out today?
We had 26 cases today as of about 2 o'clock, and so I'm sure we'll have probably some more cases to add on that before the day's over with. That made a grand total of from last Saturday till today of 156 total positive cases in Mcguffin County. I think that's the biggest week we've had it is the biggest week, and our incident rate is still in the 170 or something like that. That's the highest we've ever been. It's just spreading and moving without any kind of checking. I said it just gets worse every day.
I mean, Pete, as we're sitting here talking, it's heartbreaking and astounding that we have the second highest rate. I haven't seen today's map, but per yesterday's map, and I may have today's before the end of the show, but per yesterday's map, we were still the second highest county in this entire state, and we've been that way all week long.
Yeah, and we're climbing. I mean, I know one day was at 150 some, and now we're 170 something. I looked at it today, and and every day we get more and more cases. I don't know if where school has turned out to kind of curb that a little bit, but right now it's just one case right after another. I mean, we just get them. The health department has been, I don't know what you can call it, overwhelmed with the number of cases, and we still contact those that are positive and try to contact some of those contacts, but we're letting them contact the contacts now. But it's an overwhelming job because sometimes we don't have phone numbers, but my ladies, the nurses and the people at the health department are conscientious, and they'll track them down. They want to run them down. They want people to be safe. They don't want this virus to spread anymore, but it's just been an overwhelming job for them this last week.
I've got to make note of this, and I don't know what the purpose or point is because I don't suspect it's going to change a thing, but I have obviously been fully vaccinated the same day that you got yours. In the past couple of weeks, I've kind of pulled myself back, and I've not been getting out of the office as much, trying to do a few more things online just because, that just seems like the smart thing to do. But on a few times I've been out, and then a few of my employees have been out, they have gone into stores where employees are telling them of instances where people they know who have COVID are coming in stores as usual without masks, some with. People coming into stores and getting out who they know who has someone at home who has it, and maybe they do or don't know. It's the same thing essentially. On two occasions this week, I was out and was within just a close proximity of people who were COVID positive and didn't have a mask on, and I really don't know what to say to that. I guess I'm not even sure that's a question, Pete. I think I just wanted to make that remark.
Well, I'm glad you vented a little bit because it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a health professional, as the health department, and seeing all the stats to know that people disregard the safety of others by just getting out and doing this. We've had 2 deaths this week. I can't remember any week we had 2 deaths, and younger people, and we've got so many kids that's that's infected with this virus. We've had a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. The 2-month-old's been in the emergency room. And if people don't respect other people's health no more than at least not to wear a mask, they should be at the house. We tell them if you got COVID, you should be at home. You should not be out running the roads. And it's frustrating to see. I get phone calls all day. I get people stop by. So-and-so's out here at the BP or up at the dollar store. They don't have a mask on and they're positive. And it's just it's frustrating that they disregard the health of others. They've already disregarded their health because most of those have not been vaccinated. They really didn't care, so they didn't get vaccinated. But the people that are vaccinated and the people that are wearing masks shouldn't be have to be exposed to somebody that knows they've got the COVID. They should be at the house. It just takes 10 days quarantine or 8 if you if you don't have symptoms and test negative after 5. But still, that's not a point. The point is that it's a blatant disregard of our health, of your health, my health. If they don't want to wear a mask and they don't want to take the vaccine, stay at the house if you got COVID. People stay at the house. Stay at the house if you do have COVID and wear a mask. But, the vaccine works, masks work. I don't care what people say. I don't care who says it. I don't see what you put on Facebook. It works. The stats prove it. It's all over the country. And Kentucky especially, you can tell. The people are in the hospital, 85% of them haven't been vaccinated. I think the deaths was 75 to 500 that had not vaccinated to vaccinate. It's just crazy. The stats prove it. And they're not lying. I mean, this is not a conspiracy. This is definitely a pandemic. And it's dangerous to us all. And it's dangerous to my grandkids. I got a kid in school, a grandkid in school. I don't appreciate that the blatant disregard of people that just run out on the roads with COVID. It's just not, it's not right. And if they give me the power at the health department to put them out, I'll put them off the road. But I haven't gotten that power yet. So, but it's I'm going to rant a little bit. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to know that we could stop this. We could stop it if everybody's vaccinated. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of you don't believe in vaccinations and stuff like this. The only reason we ever stopped polio, smallpox, measles, all those great diseases that kill millions of people was by vaccine, and it was herd vaccination. The government required you to be vaccinated when you was young, and we got rid of these diseases. The only way we're going to get rid of COVID is if everybody vaccinates, and that's the bottom line, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
All right, one more question. Good job there, just in my opinion. Vaccines at the health department, availability when?
Tuesday. Call Tuesday. We'll get you Moderna. We'll vaccinate anybody who wants to be vaccinated on Tuesday, except the Moderna is not for 18 and under. That's the Pfizer. You'd have to go to Walgreens or call the Floyd County Health Department, and they'll get you 18 and under. And I'm telling you, the kids, you need to be getting the vaccine. The thing is, we cancel football, we cancel this, we cancel that. If you've been vaccinated and you've been in contact with a COVID a positive person, you don't have to vaccinate. Then you can get out and do what you want to do. But if you haven't been vaccinated, you have to go home. Ball players, cheerleaders, volleyball players, I got somebody on your team that has the COVID and you've been vaccinated, you can just stay on the team and play ball. But you can't if you're not vaccinated. It just mind blows me blows my mind, I should say, that people just don't understand. And I know a lot of the reason they do, but for the benefit of the whole world and the country and Mcguffin County, get your vaccination and wear your mask. It don't hurt to wear your mask. I know some people complain and quarrel about it. Wear your mask. I wear my mask everywhere I go now. And my kids wear, and my grandson wear my mask all day at school, and they don't complain one bit. So it ain't going to kill you. It's going to save you by wearing a mask, getting a vaccination, staying home if you got COVID. And social distance, even if you don't have COVID, social distance.
When I come back, I think a birthday or two in the calendar and some other important announcements. And if you've been holding out for a beautiful weekend weather-wise, or at least a few dry days anywhere you can get them, I've got them. Stay tuned. COVID might have stopped the music again, but don't let it stop the services and support our local organizations provide the community by supporting them. Go to bgcf.givingfuel.com/Community Day right now or before September the 9th and donate to get them the $35,000 in matching funds. And be sure and look for all the raffles and fundraisers that are going on right now by all the groups: Mcguffin County Senior Citizens, Mcguffin County Christians Care, Sayersville Kiwanis, Miss Mcguffin Scholarship Organization, the District 3 Volunteer Fire Department, North Mcguffin, Middle Fork, Salyersville, and Bloomington Fire Departments, the Mcguffin County Rescue Squad, our DAV, South Mcguffin Community Activist, South Mcguffin Fire Department, Mcguffin County Youth Baseball and Softball, Kentucky Mission Bible Training Center, and the Mcguffin County Rainbow Girls. And be sure to see any of those groups or the Sayersville National Bank and buy that $10 ticket that will win someone this car. Please, let's all support these groups who have always supported us. bgcf.givingfuel.com/Community Day to donate.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Call the pros. All Pro Gutter Works specializes in seamless gutters, vinyl siding, metal roofing, replacement doors and windows, remodeling or adding on to your home with free and fair estimates backed by decades of happy and return customers with guaranteed satisfaction and 18 months 0% financing. All Pro Gutter Works. 349-9999.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
There's no missing that this is the new McFarland and Tinker Law Office location on the Mountain Parkway in the former Farm Bureau building in Sagersville, just like there's no denying that their nearly 60 years of legal experience has won their clients millions and millions of dollars in disability, auto accident, and wrongful death cases. It's where your case matters to you and to us. McFarland and Tinker. Also, Griffey approved. Yes, indeedy. Happy birthday, Terry. That's Terry Jenkins. Happy birthday to you. Love Tanya and Trenton. Happy birthday, Terry Jenkins. Oh, I don't have it typed in, my neighbor, but I got a note here says an early birthday wish tonight to A.B. Conley from your loving family and friends. Happy birthday tomorrow to you, sir, A.B. Conley. Happy birthday. A couple of things going on this weekend, and weather-wise, man, it's going to work out well. The third annual car show, sponsored by the Cow Creek Free Will Baptist Missions Car Show organization, is tomorrow. Registration starts at 9 in downtown Prestonsburg, judging at $12:30, $20 a car to register. Concessions and a cornhole tournament. They've got a class for anything you can drive and ride, and a wonderful cause there as well. And the Sagersville Masonic Lodge Horse Show is tomorrow evening starting at 6 at the Mcguffin County Horse Park. 28 classes, some big prizes for some of the biggest classes like Country Pleasure Championship there. And great time, great admissions, $5 to get in. Kids 12 and under get in for free. From there, we have to go on to tonight's funeral service announcements and learn of the passing of 79-year-old Corbett Stevens of Sagersville, who passed away yesterday, survived by his wife, Liddell Vance Stevens, his son Marcus Shannon, and daughter Susan Stevens, a brother Kenneth Stevens, and 3 grandkids. I'm told that services were held in his honor earlier today. Services will start tomorrow at 1 for Ernest Ernie Hall, 75, of Sagersville, who passed away this week, survived by his daughter Tabitha Reed and sons Aaron and James Hall and brother Reuben Lee Hall and 3 grandchildren. Services tomorrow at 1 from the Mcguffin County Funeral Home. As well, services to be held for... My apologies, technical difficulty there. 59-year-old Harry C. Davis, starting tomorrow at 2 from the Tip Top United Baptist Church, survived by his wife Janet and daughters Tabitha Vanderpool and Crystal Vanderpool and 3 brothers. He is also, his services will be followed by Monday's services at 1 o'clock for his sister, 79-year-old Bertha Davis Patton, who passed away on Thursday. She survived by her son Ricky Lee and daughter Regina Patton and a number of brothers and sisters as well. Her services as well from the Tip Top United Baptist Church. And lastly, this evening, a beautiful day in the neighborhood or two for your weekend, and not so shabby of an evening tonight. I'm loving it. 64 degrees, mostly clear skies, and a calm wind out there to wrap up your Friday. Tomorrow, mid-80s, sunny, beautiful, dry. Dry. I don't remember dry being such a marvelous word. It is now. 86 sunny, mostly clear for your Saturday. I mean, we've got a 10% blip of some showers and thunderstorms after 4 o'clock on your Sunday, but otherwise sunny and 87. I shouldn't have even put that in there. Like I have some say-so about the weather. Monday, look at it, another run. 88 degrees, sunny, mostly clear skies and dry. Clear that night, again, 65. So essentially, With the exception of that little 10% chance on Sunday, we've got 3 solid dry days in front of us all the way through Monday night, and then after that we get into next week, and then we'll kind of get back to a smaller but similar pattern. Tuesday, sunny skies and 89 degrees, warming up again, but a 20% chance of showers and storms. Mostly clear that night and 69, with still a 20% chance, slight. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 87. Will crank up shower and storm chances to 40%. Thursday, 85 and 50%, still mostly sunny. Still mostly sunny next Friday, lower 80s and mostly sunny skies. That's it. Thank you all for being here this Friday. I hope that everyone has a chance, even though it's going to be a beautiful weekend, even if it was going to be raining, Dismal, I still want you to enjoy your weekend regardless of the weather. Just turns out it's going to be beautiful this time around, so enjoy it while you can. Summer won't be here forever, certainly. And I'll see you back here next week, wrapping up starting to wrap up at least, the last few days of August. Yeah, there's something to think about. Good night, everyone, and thanks for watching.